Fumblers, and welcome to another episode of the Film Fumblers podcast, the show where four friends fumble through your favorite films. Today, we are reviewing a movie called Pi, directed by Darren Aronofsky and released in 1998. So without further ado, my name's Adrian.
I'm Jay.
I'm Darren.
And I'm James. Sorry, I'm laughing at four friends fuck up your favorite bagels.
The pre-show we were talking about we were getting into a heated discussion about bagels. All right, let's cheers. This one's to bagels, boys.
Green chili bagels.
Right, the day before Pi Day, reviewing the movie Pi, we're cheers to bagels.
Yeah. Cheers. Dude, instead of doing a shot,
Woo!
bagel bros, we just do a spread.
A spread
And a crunch.
Boom.
Oh man.
Oh, baby.
Hopefully, I sound better today. We found out in post that I was using my webcam mic. I don't know how the fuck Windows just decided to put that as my default, but it's disabled.
Is that controversial?
It should be sounding okay. I hope it does. So yeah, sorry about that. But it was like calculated. That movie was that Sound of Metal. That was like bad sound on purpose.
Yeah, on purpose.
Okay. Pi. So today is almost Pi Day, March 13th. I don't know. Is there like any? Does anyone do anything for Pi Day? Is it like a thing?
Village Inn,
like,
man.
Like
Except Village Inn doesn't exist by me anymore, so I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What, they give like a free
They all
slice of pie?
Wait,
I think
really?
so, or something.
I
Whoa.
think they did.
Mm-hmm.
Or like discounted full pies, or maybe both.
Maybe both. Maybe
What
both.
kind of pie would you get if you could just get one? Cherry?
Pumpkin.
Pumpkin? Can you get
Pumpkin
pumpkin
sauce.
nowadays? Like now, this time of year?
I
I'm
think
sure
I think
they
pumpkins
figured out.
year round there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
That was,
Pi
that
Day.
was
They
gonna be
don't
my
have
answer, but I didn't know if that was possible. You know,
Mm-hmm.
It's really the only pie I like. if I'm
peach
being real.
cobbler, dude. Isn't that a pie or no?
Is that a pie?
You
It's
just
a
said it was
but-
cobbler.
What's a cobbler?
Cobbler. I feel like cobbler is a lasagna of pie, right? Like
Just a
it's just
square
tray.
instead.
It's like
Okay.
a crumble. It's a crumbly.
Is a
thing.
crumble the same as a cobbler? Okay. Anyway.
Okay,
Peach.
now it's a pie. Now it's a pastry podcast. This is where
Pastry pie, dude.
The pastry.
Pastry pie.
All right.
Not that kind of pie this time.
So, Pi,
Have any of you
1998. Not the pastry.
seen-
The number. The movie. Yeah.
Have you seen any other movies by this director?
This
Just
was his
Only Black
first. This
Swan.
was his first one, right?
yeah, only Black
This is
Swan
the
for me too.
Yeah.
Black Swan.
I've not
I've never
seen
seen Black Swan.
Oh,
I've
it's good.
seen Requiem for a Dream though.
I heard that
Which
one was
is
real.
Generally,
fucked
his movies are fucked up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much, yeah.
And he's
Pretty
like a
much,
big,
yeah.
he's like a big weeb, right? Like he like stole all his ideas from like old anime movies and stuff like that.
Is that true? I don't know.
I think. I'm
It is
throwing
now.
out
You heard it on a
I'm just
podcast.
like throwing out accusations. I think
This
Black
movie
Swan
definitely
is-
was, right? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Black Swan is heavily inspired by an anime movie that I don't have off the top of my head, but
Isn't
to
it
get
called
around,
Perfect Blue?
you think so? Yes.
Because I think that was about like actors and weird shit. Like
to
that.
get around it, he ended up just buying the rights to that movie.
What the fuck?
wouldn't
Make
get
that
like-
movie.
So he wouldn't get like.
That's hilarious.
But I don't
Yes,
think
Edom-
he wasn't like shy
funny.
about it. He wasn't shy about it, but he was just like, yeah, I love
This
it.
one
I
was
love
too,
it
right?
Yeah.
Tetsuo or something?
Yeah, Satoshi Kon. Yeah, Perfect Blue. Yeah, so, heavily influenced by some weeb stuff.
Hardcore
Was
weeb
this
shit.
movie was too?
I
What
think
was
so.
this one based on?
Tetsuo or something?
Tetsuo?
that a-
Is that the name of
isn't
the
that a
guy in
character?
Akira?
Yeah,
That is, but yeah, it's called Tetsuo the Iron Man. It's not an anime, but it's a Japanese movie.
Oh,
Right? I think I remember Alonso telling us that. Or is he just saying it was similar? I don't know. I'm fucking this all up.
Alonso is furious.
The
right now.
aesthetic is influenced by the. Okay, visually it was, I guess.
Vision.
Okay.
That's a good jumping off point. Like like this black and white, but like overexposed as fuck most of the time kind of
Mhm.
vibe. My first thought was like, I like the way this looks, but am I gonna like the way this looks for the whole movie? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, am I gonna get tired of it?
It was
The good thing
muddy,
about that
right?
though is the runtime wasn't too long,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
like it moved along pretty quickly. But I do see what you're saying is like very overexposed and intentional though, because we're kind of
Right.
following this person who's getting these severe headaches all of the time, and there's just so much tension. It's just like really
Yeah.
gritty and
And
Disorienting.
Yeah.
not every shot is overexposed, right? Like it's really when he's like having
Mhm.
like an episode and shit.
the bathroom and stuff. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or he's like super into the, the fucking shit. Like those scenes were really cool though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, you could tell like on some level that it was like a low budget movie because the budget was pretty low, right?
Yeah.
But it like the vibe of the movie, the like story that was there, and like just it was all like very, it made me very curious where I was like, okay, where is this gonna go, right? But for me, I was sucked in immediately because the opening monologue is sampled in that Jedi Mind Trick song
Dude, yes.
Oh.
that my
I,
wife
I
play a lot.
I didn't know where that was from, or like, excuse me. Yeah. I knew the Jedi Mind Trick song, and I like never knew where that
Yeah,
quote was from. And then
me
when he
neither.
started out with that, I was like, "Holy shit, this is so fucking cool!"
That's
I
sick.
was, it's the
Yeah,
song
the
from
the
Beach Cobras.
that like jungle break beats fucking ass music
90s.
that
That
just starts
music
you
was
up.
sick.
Oh,
The drum
PS1
and
action
bass,
game
like,
shit.
I
So
was
The
like,
fucking
music
oh
cool.
shit,
slapped
we're
throughout the
getting
entire
in.
film.
Yeah,
It was really good. And what
it
was cool
set
about
the
the
vibe.
music was like a lot of times it was set off by things that were happening in the film. Like the dripping one, there's a song, I think it's actually called Dripping, but it's
Ooh.
like where the blood's dripping and like you
Mm-hmm.
can continue to hear that in the back when he's on the subway, and then it just turns into a full ass song and it goes throughout. And it, like they do that a couple of times too with like some of his headaches, and it's just
Yeah.
really those transitions to that music is really cool.
Yeah, the
It's
movie
really well
is
done.
Yeah.
so rhythmic all the time, dude.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
his head is like pulsing, but it's like the beat of the song, and like when he's like freaking out and shit. Like that was stressing me
Yeah.
out, dude.
Remind you guys of any other rhythmic ass movie we've done? James? Freaking Baby Driver, dude. I thought you were like
Yeah.
on that. Baby Driver.
Yeah.
That shit's so rhythmic, like just the
Yeah.
way it kind of flows.
Yeah, that shit was awesome, dude. The soundtrack was fucking amazing. And
Yeah.
I was looking at the Wikipedia, and there's a song on the soundtrack that I love called Angel by Massive Attack. It's like pretty popular. It's in Snatch and stuff. And I was like, where
Yeah.
the fuck was that? And like I was looking, I was scrubbing the movie. I was like, what the hell? And I found one Reddit thread where this guy was like, oh yeah, I have the German version of the DVD, and it's during the scene where the landlord and comes in and when he passes out and he's like telling them to get out and stuff. He's like, it plays through that part. And I was like, what the fuck? And I go back to watch that and it's just like silent. I was like, damn, I wonder what that sounds like. And there's no clips or anything on YouTube. I was like,
That's so
I wonder
random,
what that
but
would have
it's
been
immature.
like. Yeah.
Interesting.
I wonder if they lost the rights or something, no budget. I don't know. They just gave up on it.
Well, that's the like crazy part about this movie is like a lot of shit was done to save money, right? Like the subway scenes at night were filmed illegally
Yeah.
because it cost like thousands of dollars to
Like
film there.
all of I heard they didn't get permission to film anywhere publicly. Like they like had lookouts to like make sure police weren't gonna go
Yeah.
by.
And that's like
Yeah.
a very like guerrilla like Werner Herzog
Yeah.
thing, right? Like you just get the shot, like fuck everybody else.
Yeah.
Which I'm like,
Yeah.
why don't more? But I get that it's like a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
Like you can't have a full ass production. You can have a few people and like an actor, and there's still like real people that could be around. I don't know. It seems crazy,
Yeah.
but that's like
Yeah.
the Safdie brothers. They do that.
Yeah,
a
I
lot.
was
Or
gonna
they did a lot.
Uncut Gems for
And
sure
there's-
does that.
Yeah, there's like a lot of like parts where you're like, I don't know. To me, it gives a sense of like liveliness, like because it is real. Like what you're looking at could be real because it is real. You know, like this
Right.
is not staged, really. Which I guess I don't know. It's just weird that like high value productions go to such an extent to like hire a bunch of extras and like make it feel real instead of just like shooting it for real. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you see
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
walking by and they're like talking, but they're not making any sound because they're not supposed to, so you
Exactly.
can hear the actors and stuff, and
Yeah.
it feels so weird.
Yeah, yeah.
Would that also be like weird as fuck to just live in, a movie where, well, we actually live in a city now where shit's starting to pop off here, and they're starting to film a lot of stuff here. What if you just saw film crews running through downtown and like you're just walking down the street, It's just
Just
kind of weird.
fuck up the
It'd be
whole
cool.
scene by like, oh shit, in the
Yeah,
background.
and that's like
We would
in New York
appreciate it, but
City. Like in
yeah.
New York City, nobody gives a fuck. They're just like whatever.
Yeah.
They're not
Minding
gonna
their
bother
business.
you. But here it's like whoo, whoo, and
Right,
you can't afford to be fucking around with that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Right.
It's just the camera's so fucking close to the main actor that it's like I don't even remember seeing that many other people in the
Other
background.
people,
You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, that's a good point. Like a lot of a lot of shots in the movie are focused on a very small thing, right? Like all the shots of the ants and shit, or
Yeah.
like when they're just like hyper focused into like a newspaper or the Go game or whatever it is. There's just so many like what you would probably call an insert shot, even though it's not really an insert because they're like actually doing it, but it's
Right.
like just focusing in on these very small things, which is like really interesting because it kind of drills into like how he's really trying to find this number pattern in life and in reality and shit, and he's like
Mhm.
drilling into like the cells and the fabric of time and all this crazy shit.
Yeah.
But like it also takes a step back too, like when you see the shot of the trees and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And even though they're like saying there's patterns in nature, it's not necessarily like a hyper like close-up shot of trees. It's like a whole tree,
Mm.
but it
Yeah.
doesn't, you don't get that very often, and it makes the film feel a little bit claustrophobic, like
Oh
a
yeah.
little, it makes you feel like
Yeah.
uneasy.
Yeah. You're tense a lot of the movie
Yeah.
for sure.
I
But
was
is that
anxious
not
for sure.
intentional? Like
It's
Yeah.
totally
just
intentional, yeah.
Yeah.
to give you that feel like you're about
Yeah,
to have
I
a
was
heart
stressed
attack
out
at
the
any
whole time.
moment.
Not
They
as
did
much
it.
as
They did
like Uncut Gems or something, but yeah, still like
yeah.
blood pumping the
Yeah.
whole fucking movie.
And like it was very intentional. Like one of the things that made me the most stressed out was the sound. Like there was just really screechy, like really high pitched sounds, especially obviously during his headaches. And it was like I was on edge so much. I was watching it really loud. Like I had it really fucking loud, and like a screech would come out of nowhere, and you're just like, fuck. Like especially when there's a scene he's in the subway, he's poking the brain with the pen.
Yeah, dude.
And
Yeah,
that shit like was so intense.
that was a cool scene,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Like it kept happening, and I was just like, "Is it gonna happen again?" And then it would happen. It's like,
Poke
"Ah,
his
fuck!"
brain again?
Like the sound
Dude,
and everything.
Oh man.
I thought because he like kind of prods it a couple times, I thought he was just gonna straight like like stab it,
Yeah.
and it was just gonna go insane, but he just kind of like thrusts through it. But that scene, I mean, a lot of these are like very intense on the senses, on like your
Yeah.
sensory, receptors, or the
Yeah.
two that movies control, right? Audio, visual.
Mhm.
And I mean, this is like you've got no money to make something, so you've got to do whatever you can to like impact the fucking audience, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it was like, in my opinion, that was like really well done. Like they really
yeah.
nailed that piece.
Yeah. Absolutely did.
Yeah, and another thing that was like rhythmic or whatever, like every time he did a printout of something, it sounded like a fucking beat. Did you guys feel that, or I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like so many things like that just felt like it was just constant, like a beat. Like I don't know.
That's why I was getting like those freaking Baby Driver vibes, like
Yeah.
pressing on the
Yeah.
ATM.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to go back for a sec to the patterns in nature stuff, like I think when he first kind of gives his like assumptions or whatever, restates his assumptions, I think that's when they start with trees, which is interesting because in like programming or like computer science, a lot of data structures are based around trees, like the idea of trees. There's like binary trees, right? Where I think like you start to see the intersection of, yeah, there is these patterns in nature that you can recreate mathematically, programmatically even, to and some people have done this. They've written programs that will visually display the cellular structure of like leaves and shit, through like numbers. Like you are able to predict or generate right leaves that follow this same pattern. But there's like an intersection between numbers and nature where, you know, you find that pattern in nature with the tree, but then you take that and you like further insert it into the non-nature piece, right? The computer part, like by making binary trees and shit like that. So it's really cool that they started there and then they kind of like tie it into like organisms and, you know, to the stock market and all this other shit. But it was a cool little nod to that.
Yeah, with the nature stuff, this movie made me so interested in like the Fibonacci sequence and stuff. I watched a bunch of fucking YouTube videos about that shit. I was like,
Yeah.
oh
Dude,
my
have
God,
you
that's
like
so
looked at
crazy.
that much before this movie? Like
Everyone's
heard of the Fibonacci.
I've seen memes
Yeah.
of it's the Fibonacci like spiral around like a dog sleeping or something, like stuff like that. I was just like, oh, that's funny.
Perfection,
Yeah.
Isn't
Yeah.
like a bunch of Tool songs or like written in a Fibonacci-esque
Okay,
sequence?
so that's one of the videos
Probably.
I watched was like Fibonacci and music. I don't know. This doesn't even have to do with the movie, but fuck it, it's interesting. It was like a PBS fucking YouTube video or some shit, but it's like it's hard to describe like why it makes sense, but it just like the nature of it just feels right to the human ear or whatever. Like
Oh, okay.
so like maybe like a little past halfway in a lot of songs is when something different will happen than like the rest of like the verses and chorus and stuff. And they'd have
bridge?
like shit, I don't remember what the 0.618 is. That's it, right? That's the Fibonacci sequence. Like they all turn out to be that fraction, right? Is that what it is?
Oh,
Anyone?
I honestly don't know.
I think that's what it is.
It's the numbers are sequenced where you're like 1 + 1 is 2, 2 + 3 is 5.
Yeah.
5 + 3 is 8. 8 +
5 is
5 is
13.
13.
Yeah, it's the ratio between the numbers. Once you get higher, they get closer and closer to 0.618, which I guess is like they get really close to that. So like they did a thing where it's like you multiply the length of the song in seconds by 0.618, and it gives you like a number, like the part of the song like that many seconds in. And they did it for Under Pressure by Queen and David Bowie.
Oh, nice.
And right at that exact point, dude, is when Freddie Mercury does like this big old scream and it's all different. It's like, holy shit. And then they did a different song. I don't remember what it was, but it's just like, how the fuck, dude? Like, I don't know. It's just
crazy.
fucking crazy.
That's cool. Yeah, and like when we're scoping out projects at work, we create tasks, right? Like we have to do this and this to make this thing. And when we're making those tasks, we actually score them in the Fibonacci sequence. Like, what is the level of effort that this task takes to complete? Because if it gets too high, right, as you get higher and higher on that scale, it's like a compounded thing, then you know that you need to like break that task down and like separate it out and stuff.
Huh.
But yeah, it's like super interesting
It's
numbers,
crazy,
man.
dude.
Numbers,
It's
crazy.
so wild. There's so many
I'm
classical
out of
songs.
my element here. I'm
Yeah,
out of my
I'm-
element. I hate numbers. Just
I am too.
2
Quick
plus
maths.
5.
Yeah, and like what there's like that so the whole movie the main character's talking about like there's a pattern in everything. Like everything there's a pattern to all of this shit. But I don't know, it's just like is there like that's the whole law of entropy, right? Where things are like disorderly and like they're getting more and more disorderly as time goes on, and that's like the third law of thermodynamics or some shit where it's just I don't know. So I was like having trouble this whole time. I'm like, there ain't patterns and shit, man. Like,
Dude,
all
I
this
was-
shit's just fucking random. Like,
I was believing hardcore, dude.
Yeah, I was a believer for sure.
what's so cool is like how his friend Saul brings that up, where he's like you're fixated on a number. You're fixated on 216. It could be any number. It could be the number of seconds you stay in the elevator, the number of steps to your fucking condo. Like any number you fixate on, you will find patterns. And I'm like,
Yeah.
is that
oh,
what
it's
it
like
is?
Jay's birthday.
Exactly.
Yes,
Hey,
that's
it's
exactly
Jay's
it.
birthday.
It's like
I like what he says that like you filter everything else out.
yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm
And
not
for
going
those who
around
don't
filtering
know-
out anything else
For those
out.
who don't know,
My
literally-
birthday appears a lot.
We've talked about Jay's birthday, I think, on the cast before. But like, Jay is completely fixated on every movie we do, or like just all kinds of notable people had a birthday that is like
Pretty
either his
close.
same birthday or pretty close. But it's just like pretty close is like, okay, come on.
Yeah.
What's that thing where
Pretty
if
close
you're
is
in a
like a
room
day away.
if you're in a room with like how many people? It's like 100 people. The chances of you not having the same birthday as somebody is like ridiculously small. Some weird shit.
Hmm.
Like
It's
just
not
like
just sharing birthdays, it's also like events that happen to occur and shit in relation to the
It's
thing
happened a
that
lot that he sent us a
It
screenshot of a
happens a
date
lot.
and he's like, "What the fuck?"
that's like
A lot, a
confirmation
lot.
bias. You know, it's
Yeah, maybe it is, but
Yeah.
I think that the thing is that was interesting to me is what Max says about that in retort, right? Where he's like,
Yeah.
no, there's more chaos. There is more chaos. It does get more chaotic, but that doesn't mean that there's not a pattern that exists that we just can't understand, that
see,
we're not
that's
sophisticated
okay.
enough to
That's a
understand.
good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Dude, okay, so the reason I bring up entropy and all this shit is like I'm taking a fucking intro level physics class right now. And it's fucking online. It's so bullshit. Like I'm not really learning anything, but I have to read on shit like this sometimes. And like there's all these theories about entropy, like, yeah, like nothing makes sense. It's all random nothingness. But I'm just like, do we just not know the pattern? Like, so I don't know. I may sound like I'm going on both sides here, and I don't know this shit. Who fucking knows?
Dude, that's so funny. I do that same thing like Jay's birthday, but with my bus number from high school is
Oh,
437.
God.
I fucking see that number everywhere, but it's like it's just a number I remembered, so like I'm like trained to like
exactly.
see it, right?
Yeah.
But like I look at the clock,
It's
oh, it's
'cause you have
437. It's like
anxiety
what
that
the
you were
fuck?
gonna miss it.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
It's like deep seated.
Dude, and then
But that
remember
happens a lot, dude.
the day when your bus number, like when your bus was out for repairs and you were on a different bus number, and it was just like,
that's the worst.
Dude, I actually say that number all the fucking time, and it's
Dude.
weird. It's really weird. But
That's crazy.
I can't remember shit. Do you guys remember your lunch code?
yeah, it was my social security number. That's the only reason I
Oh,
know my
yeah.
social security number.
They changed it. They changed that a lot.
Thankfully, that's such a weird thing to teach kids.
Yeah.
But
that is weird.
speaking of that, have you guys seen the movie 23 with Jim Carrey? It's literally just about
No, I know of it. It's about being fixated on that
yeah,
number,
he gets
right?
fucking obsessed with that number. He sees everywhere.
Yeah.
It's weird, but it's that same shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Funny
You
seeing
wake
him.
up at 4:20 a.m. Man. I see that number all the time, fool. It's crazy. It's like it's always looking for me.
What I liked about this movie a lot though is like there is like the element of like especially with soul, right? How there's and they tie it like way back to like ancient mathematicians or scientists or whatever. But like how there is this like constant like curiosity and study of numbers and like striving to like understand and quest for knowledge kind of shit.
Yeah.
And how he's not just like some crazy dude. He's like this is his job. Like he is supposed to be researching these things, but how that can like take you down this fucking path of like obsession and shit, right? Like you just you were saying. And especially how like they kind of pull in like Soul's experience, and then he like tries
Oh, you're
to
saying like Soul,
protect
like the
him.
character?
The character,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Soul.
My bad.
That's his name, right? Soul.
Yeah, because I was like,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I was trying to explain this movie to my mom, and I was like, "You watched the movie Soul, right?" Like that's why I thought you were going. I was like,
no,
I was like,
yeah,
it's
that's
kind of
his
like
name.
that. This is our
Yeah.
it's our trilogy
he's
of
like
obsession movies: Soul, Whiplash,
well,
and Pie.
Dude, this is what got me thinking. In like the shower today, I was like, "Fuck!" There's so many movies about obsession,
Mm-hmm.
but it's such an open-ended topic because you can be obsessed about literally fucking
Yeah.
anything, and it's
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
And I was just like, "Damn, this dude's obsessed about numbers. I'm interested." Homeboy in Whiplash was obsessed about drums. I'm interested. Nightcrawler, he's obsessed about like this weird like newscasting shit. I'm interested. Like it never fails to be fucking
Yeah.
interesting, right?
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah, that's why it bothers me when people say like, "Oh, like is X addicting? Like can X be addicting?" People always say that about like video games. It's just like, dude, you could be addicted to literally anything, right? Like anything
Yeah.
could control your life
Eating a
if you
mattress or whatever the fuck that show was
Oh yeah,
about.
the My
My
Strange
strange
Addiction.
addiction.
That show is fun. Let's not get into it because that's a fucking
Yeah.
rabbit hole. Dude, speaking of Soul, the character from this movie, you guys recognize this guy, right?
Yeah.
I had to have
Mark,
seen him somewhere.
I don't know how to say his last name. Mark Margolis. He is in a lot of shit, but he is. You guys probably recognize him from Breaking Bad. He's the Bell guy.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
dude. There it is.
And honestly, he looks the same
He does.
age.
He
Like
does,
I'm
yeah.
like, damn, he
From
looks
1998.
old, but he hasn't
Yeah.
aged anymore.
Is that his
Yeah.
normal
He's
voice in this movie? Or no?
I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah. He's
Okay.
also in a very small part in Ace Ventura. It's a scene that I always remember. It's Ace Ventura's landlord, where
What the
he
fuck?
steps up behind him. He's like, Ventura, and Ace is like, "Yes, Satan."
Yes, Satan.
Sorry, I thought you were someone else. Yeah, I fucking. I always remember that scene. But yeah, that's him.
That's
That's
awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, the whole movie, I was like, someone in this fucking movie is so familiar, and I don't know who the fuck it is. I don't know where the
Yeah.
fuck
It's him. Yeah,
that's who it is. Yep.
it is him.
Yeah.
Speaking of cast, so Sean, what is his last name? Sean Galletti? Is that how
Gillette?
you'd say it? Galette?
I don't know.
Do you guys? Is he in other shit?
He was
kinda
like
looked
in
vaguely
a
like
couple
you.
other Aronofsky movies, and that's it. I think I remember looking it up.
He writes a lot of stuff, apparently.
Yeah, he helped write this movie, right?
I think so,
I
yeah.
saw something about like
He was in the credits a lot for this movie, a few times.
Yeah,
I don't remember what the third one that I remember, but
but this felt like an example of like really good casting. Like he played that type of character, the type of character who was just losing their mind. He did that really well. Like the
Yeah.
acting, I think, was really really good on his part.
dude, like pretty much everyone's part. Like I could see,
Yeah,
like I was
there wasn't
thinking,
a lot of roles, but
yeah, like I could see like someone saying, "Oh, he's being so fucking weird and it's not realistic" or something. But it's like the fact that everyone around him feels so real. It makes him feel that much more of an outsider, like a weirdo or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? And it just works so fucking well.
Especially because he lives in like Chinatown too, where he's like automatically like a minority.
Right.
It's really interesting how they played around that and like introduced like the neighbor and that little girl that asked him to do all the math,
Mm-hmm.
you know, calculations and shit. It was cool.
Yeah.
I do wonder, like, with such a low budget, like there has to be a you know, a part of it that was like these are just the dude's friends, like Darren Aronofsky's friends.
Yeah.
Like he kind of knows.
Uh,
But
yeah.
like to hit the nail on all those heads seems like he fucking struck gold here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's not an actor, but like kind of speaking to that, I saw that his mom was like the caterer for like stuff about this movie. Like it's just like that's how small of a
Oh,
production
wow.
this was, you know
Well,
what I
we
mean?
got,
Ran
I don't
that
know
whole-
if you mentioned in the comment we got that somebody said that the actors were paid $75 for this shit.
And they just wore whatever
And
they were wearing
and
or
they
something.
just wore whatever they wear. Like
Wow.
Crazy, dude.
no costumes.
That's crazy.
75 bones.
So-
It's probably fun, dude. I bet you
Yeah.
it was a blast.
Sure.
Yeah, and like to be in a cool movie. Well, obviously, and that's the thing is like you don't know a movie's gonna be good when you're filming, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, unless you got like some ridiculous cast. I mean, even ridiculous cast, it could still be a shitter. But
Just
what did this
edit
movie?
it.
What was the box office on this? Was it like?
3 million.
Oh wow,
Like not a lot,
Off
but
of
compared to the
60K,
budget,
right?
yeah, a
their,
lot.
their K was at 60K, like, or excuse me, their budget was 60K, like that's.
Pre-production was 60K, and then post-production was another like,
Another 60, right?
So
Oh,
out of
okay.
120K total, made a few million. But what's interesting is that this movie was the first movie to be available to legally download on the internet.
Oh wow.
Like
Really?
buy and download this movie online. So like I wonder how much that played into
It's
Whoa.
success.
yeah, the like, you know, monetary success the spread that it got.
Ah.
You know, because I don't
So
feel like
weird.
it's that widely known of a movie, but that's a pretty good profit margin for the, you know,
Yeah.
what it
Oh yeah, that's really good.
Dude, this movie reminded me so much. Have you guys seen Following? Christopher Nolan's first movie?
No.
It is so similar to this in such a weird
Hmm.
way. It's like super fucking small budget, black and white, very small cast. Like it's very interesting in the same way that this is. And it's
Yeah.
just like, damn, dude, like these guys, like where they start is just so fucking interesting compared to where they go. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Huh.
I
There-
got like for me, I got like Fight Club vibes from the main character. It just felt like he was losing his mind, and like just the way the movie kind of progressed, it felt. Well, Fight Club obviously came out way later, but
Wasn't it like the same year?
I could see that.
oh wait, it wasn't. Oh no, way later, 1999. Holy shit, I thought it was like
Okay,
2000 something. Yeah, it came out the next year. Well, Polinick's book came out before that, obviously. So.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, to touch back just a hair on that, like the link here for me with Requiem for a Dream, right, his next movie. So the transition thing that he would do a lot in this movie where like when he would start to have the headaches and then it would cut to like the pills and
Dude,
taking them
It's
like,
the
a little
same shot
visualization.
every time, right?
So
Yeah.
they
Was
did
it?
that again
looked like-
in Requiem for a Dream.
Ah.
Except, so Requiem for a Dream is about heroin addicts, and the transition shot was like 4 seconds, and it was like a spoon, a needle, your pupil dilating, and like a sound, and that was it, and it would transition to the next thing. But that
Ah.
like this movie with the pills, it was the exact same idea.
Mm.
Hmm.
I
to
thought
see it
the
be-
number of pills he was pouring into his hand each time was a little different. Maybe I could be
I don't
wrong.
know. It just looked like the
It
same.
I mean, it looked
Yeah.
the same. It
Yeah,
looked exact.
but it's such an interesting transition, right? Of
Mhm.
like, it's not just like something happens, we're on to the next thing. It's like a series of things happens very quickly.
Yeah,
that
very fast
alters
paced.
the mind of the person you're supposed to be following, and then changes like everything about the,
Yeah.
you know, what you're seeing next. But yeah, very much he reused that method in the next movie, and I like encourage you guys to watch that movie if you want.
I want to.
I don't think it's like a lot of people are like it's such a good fucking movie. I think it's like pretty good. Jared Leto's in it. One of the Wayans brothers is in it.
Oh, really?
Jennifer Connelly's in it. They're all really young, like kind of up and coming at that point in their acting careers, but
Mhm.
still some really interesting storytelling and stuff, and a pretty low budget, I think, too. So,
Hmm.
pretty crazy movie.
Nice. Dude, okay, so real quick, just a thing about the visuals. So it's in black and white, but it's a different kind of black and white. Like normal black and white focuses on the whites or something. I don't remember exactly how this is described, but it's like
Mm.
the whites are more prominent, so it looks like you can tell what's happening. Like it's more clear. And this is like the
Oh, yeah.
opposite of that. So it's more muddy and like
Contrast.
it's like hard to see. Yeah, it's hard to tell like
Yeah.
different things apart. And like the big inspiration for that, I guess he was saying, is from the Sin City comic book. You guys you've seen the
Oh,
movie, right?
really?
It's super
Yeah.
fucking contrasty black and
Stylized.
white. I
Yeah.
was like, that's so interesting. All these random, not random, but like different inspirations that just come into this movie
Inspirations.
that has nothing to do with any of those things, right? I
Mhm.
fucking love that shit. It's cool.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's get into when the film transitions. Well, it's kind of early on, but it goes kind of into the meaning of these numbers that the computer is spitting out, the 216 numbers, and how like there's like that rabbi or just that Jewish guy who meets him and is just like, yeah, I'm a kind of a numbers guy myself, and he goes over like all of
Mhm.
this stuff. I don't know. It's I think like I was really enthralled with the mystery of all of that when all of that was kind of unfolding.
Yeah.
It was just really
Yeah.
interesting, like what's going on, what's happening. But I think for me, it really fell off towards the end where they start to try to explain that, and they're like, "Hey, yeah, where he's like around all of those Jews, and it's just like
Yeah.
it's the name of God, and it
Yeah.
goes into all
Mhm.
this." And I was like, man, kind of wished it was just a mystery. Like, I don't know. I was just like, I was along for the ride, but once we got to the end, I was like, oh, okay.
Damn, I feel like I mean,
May-
go ahead, go ahead.
Maybe that's what was bugging me, like, cause for me, like, I kind of wanted more. Like, I don't know, call me a simpleton, but like, I wanted more shit to be explained. Like, I didn't want it to
Yeah.
just be left
Mm,
up and
okay.
leaving me nowhere. Like, I was like, like, it was like a cock block for me a little bit. Like, I don't know, like, you think about like
Yeah.
those stupid ass freaking National Treasure movies where they're like,
Oh,
you see the thing and like it's like connected to this thing. I'm like, oh fuck, like it just keeps going.
Yeah,
And
it's
you're
like satisfying
yeah,
answers.
yeah, and like it's like, and you're like, oh shit, it is connected. And like, it was doing that for me, you know, like it was doing that for me, and then
Yeah.
it was just like, what? I was like, oh no, like
Yeah,
it
so
just didn't get there.
I feel like I was like one step ahead of Adrian, where I was so fucking in. I was expecting the impossible out of this movie because I was like, I'm gonna learn something fucking crazy right now about numbers, but it's like obviously that's not real, right?
They don't know either.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I was
well,
waiting for it to blow my fucking mind with like real fucking facts, like not some National Treasure shit, but like real, because like the way they
So
attribute it to like the Torah and
the real
stuff.
things and the
I was like,
Fibonacci
fuck,
sequence.
that's so
and-
crazy. I was ready for it to just be real. I don't know, and it wasn't. And it was
Well,
weird.
the like name of God thing is real. That is a
Mhm.
like Jewish like what is it? What do they say? It starts with a K, where they focus more on like the numbers of the language and the Hebrew and all that shit.
Yeah.
Mm,
And there is like variations of that where it's different lengths than 216.
Mm.
216 is one of them, but there's some that are like 12, 17, 72, like various
Hmm.
versions of it. But that thing, like that is a real thing that exists, which is interesting.
That is really
but, like,
cool.
Yeah,
They-
it is interesting.
Because like I don't know if I
They
would
don't
have.
really,
It didn't
you
feel
don't really
real.
know. Yeah,
It didn't
you
feel
don't
real,
really
and I
know
was
what happened.
expecting to get an answer, which is why I was like
Yeah.
expecting the
Yeah, so I think
impossible.
that-
Since it
I
is
think
real,
that-
that's really cool.
I think that scene just wasn't. Maybe it wasn't like as well delivered as it could have been. It felt
Mhm.
just felt weird. Like he was just sitting in this. You know, there was just a bunch of people around him, and it was just like, "This is the name of God," and you wouldn't understand it. And it was just
Yeah.
like, "Oh, this is where we're going." Okay.
Yeah,
It was like, but
yeah.
it was like a good contrast between like just two sides of man trying to gain knowledge. Like the Wall
Yeah.
Street, the Wall Street
Mhm.
dudes want
Right,
it for
yeah.
their thing, and the religious nuts want it for his thing, and he wants it for his own fucking enlightenment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I liked his
And then
performance in that scene, though.
nobody gets it.
Yeah,
nobody gets it. Yeah,
I liked it. I
Yeah.
liked his performance in that scene. He was very intense. He was like, "It's my knowledge. He gave it to me." Like it's so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I liked it.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm the chosen one, and that's like, and like, what was his fucking deal, anyways? Was he fucking schizophrenic? Did he fucking burn his brain when
One time when I was
fucking
6, my mother told me not to stare into the sun.
yeah, like, did it
Yeah.
rewire his brain and he's all fucked up? Like,
Well, he was.
and I don't know.
mean,
I
it
kind of was
pretty clear that-
expecting that to be explained too, but also he was like a famous mathematician, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because like
there was
people
like,
were like,
knew him,
people were like,
yeah.
oh, I know you, like
They had written
you
some
the
stuff.
Max, like
They'd written some stuff for the film that didn't get in, and I think it was actually Sean Goulet who wrote like it showed like his childhood and like how he was like this child prodigy and like really a known mathematician for the time, but it kind of cut all that out. But
Mm.
they allude to a bit when Saul talks about how he graduated at whatever age, PhD at 20 or whatever,
yeah,
But
exactly.
yeah, they don't really kind of dive into
They
it.
don't- and
It
I'm
would
glad
be
they did. They
cool.
don't need to. That was enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think so?
It was
I
like
think
I mean,
get it.
it's a
it was weird that people were so interested in him, and he was just so like reclusive. You know what I mean? I don't know. I was like, why are all
But
these
it's
people
like-
being so nice to him and talking to him?
Because
It was
they have
just kind of
something to
weird.
gain.
Right.
That's the
Well,
thing.
later on you learn that, but like at the beginning, I was
Right,
like, what the
right,
fuck?
you're right.
he's like he's famous in a very niche part
Yeah.
of the world where he's not actually famous, but kinda,
yeah.
which has its own like interesting dynamic. But yeah, I guess you're right. You don't really have to dive into it to gain the like idea of it and stuff. And I mean, it would have been cool, maybe, but it could have also ruined it, I think.
Yeah, because it felt like he didn't have a job. He was like, I'm researching, but like who was he getting paid by like to do that, right? I just feel like he was just rich from his past mathematician shit, and he was just living off of that, trying to do this shit.
Yeah.
Dude, he put it all into GameStop.
Dude, I know. I was waiting
Can't
for
predict
GME
that.
to show up.
Yeah,
on
me
the little
too.
screen. I was like, oh fuck. But obviously, it didn't exist. But dude, like the guy was an asshole. Like the fucking his neighbor wanted to smash, and he was just
Dude,
like,
she was trying to smash. So
like I'd
much.
rather look at anime girls on my computer. and
Numbers
what the
are
fuck is
sexy.
up with that gooey ass computer?
I
It had
don't
some
know.
freaking gamer goo in it.
I hate
He
it.
was all touching it. I was like, ugh.
He
I was like,
tasted
man,
it,
I'm
dude.
watching
I
way
thought
too
it was
much
like an
hentai.
He
ant-
tasted
I thought
it,
it was
bro.
Hey, some
I
people
thought it
like
was
their
like
own
an ant
their own smell.
larvae sack or some shit, but I don't know.
Yeah.
because there was ants there. It was weird.
And that's where I was like, it was all muddled because he was like, oh, it was like the computer became alive, right? Wasn't there like some kind of like conversation?
Consciousness.
Yeah,
That was-
consciousness and like it gooed on itself or some shit. Like, I was like, what is this? I don't know. Maybe I'm just
Dude, that
dumb.
conversation, I was
Thinking.
like, is this movie going there? And then it kind of didn't. It was
Yeah,
weird.
the computer becomes alive.
Yeah.
It was-
But it was like the way I took that was like when Soul discovered that number, he had a stroke and he kind of thought about the insanity that occurred when he was going down that rabbit hole. Then like what he called it was just a bug, caused his machine to also probably break, and then when Max finds it, his machine breaks, but he also kind of breaks, right? Going down that same rabbit hole that Soul went down. So I don't know.
Right.
There is like a level of it, but like I didn't think that it was gonna be like some fucking iRobot consciousness type shit. But like,
Dude, I was so ready for it to turn
I
into
don't
the
know, I
weirdest
was-
fucking AI robot
I don't
thing. I
know.
was ready for it, dude.
yeah.
But then like
crazy, I think.
Don't do math, kids. chat.
Don't do that.
Straight up.
This is your brain on math. Yeah. And then like there's the whole thing about like the unreliable narrator thing. Like you don't know if
Yeah.
this guy's just fucking schizophrenic. Is any of this real? Does he even
Well, dude,
have
that-
any
that's
friends?
fucking
Does-
floating
is he
computer.
even is he even good at math? I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
But, like,
Can he even math? That's I think what they did that was really cool was you're following Max and you see him like look at all these people and he's just like suspicious of everyone, like everyone around him. And like that's such a symptom of people who have schizophrenia is like they're paranoid
Yeah.
and they think that they have information and everyone is trying to get that from them, and and I was just like, oh yeah, that's just what's happening. But in his case it's real. Like these
Yeah.
people are really after him, which was a cool twist on that narrative where he's talking to Darcy, or what's her name? Marcy. And like she's just like, oh, like trying to give him that briefcase and stuff. And he's like, all right, well, yeah, just like call off your watchdogs and stuff. And she's like,
Dude.
okay, I'll call him off.
Okay.
Like, what? There are actually people watching this?
So,
Like,
here's an Nvidia 390.
Yeah.
390.
RTX.
The rarest RTX.
I thought of the scene from Dodgeball. The scene from Dodgeball. Have you ever seen $100,000? They open the briefcase and it's just a tiny bundle, the tiny ass computer chip.
dude, okay. So the surveillance stuff was super interesting, but like I was kind of lost. Like the guy at the beginning in the suit that was singing and disappearing and showing up in different places, was he one of them, or was he just something he was imagining, like hallucinating?
I feel like he was real to an extent,
But he would
like,
just like appear, right? Like he was in a car and he left that train car to a different one and he was in there, wasn't he? Or no? Or am I just like making shit up?
There was a point where he disappeared. Like I think he definitely was a hallucination for the most part. But I
I'll-
think that he may be real in like one piece of it, you know?
Like you've seen him and like
Yeah.
took that in. He reminded me of the G-Man from Half-Life. I was
G-Man.
like, oh
Yeah.
god.
The G-Man.
Damn.
That's what I thought too.
Just in a
Yeah.
suit, so creepy, dude. I don't know. But then it was like the surveillance shit and I was like, so was he just a guy that was following him? I don't know. That part was confusing to me. I don't know if you guys.
There
thought
was a
about
lot
that at
more
all.
spooky.
Okay, Half-Life 2 came out in 2004. Isn't the
That
opening
has
scene
to be.
G-Man on a fucking subway?
That's the end of the game. That's the end of the first game.
Okay, that has to be
It
influenced by
has
this,
to be,
right?
dude. Yeah, that
Holy
I was getting
shit.
mad vibes of that. It was so creepy, dude. Yeah,
Oh,
That's
that is creepy.
crazy.
'cause-
Damn.
yeah.
I don't know. I haven't played Half-Life 2 in so fucking long. Let me see. Gee, man.
I think they open to with the
They
ending. I
yeah,
guess.
they do. They do.
Oh.
They do. Sorry. But
Um,
like, oh my god! And then the dude with the hand, with the dripping blood on his hand.
oh yeah, isn't that him?
Yes, that's what I was
I
gonna
thought
say.
that was
Yeah, that
him,
is
right?
him.
Yeah.
I was like, that's why I was like, oh shit, are they going like this down this weird thread where the old guy singing is just him as a crazy old man, and he's seeing himself. If he doesn't give up all this stuff, what he's gonna be. Like I was just going all these different places, like thinking so much
Yeah.
harder than I needed to. This was a fun movie to watch. I think. I don't know. I was.
Yeah,
I was.
it
It
was
was good.
fun, yeah.
Yeah.
I think if nothing else, it makes you think like about a lot of shit, right? And there is like, I mean, so when I was a freshman or a sophomore, and I took medals at West Mesa, that was when LaPapalo was teaching it. And
He was big on Fibonacci sequence.
Oh really?
parallels to fucking Max, dude. He was like a little crazy. But
Yeah, he's
he
crazy.
would go hard on the golden mean
Ratio.
spiral, golden
Golden
ratio.
Spiral.
He had a whole ass like 4 weeks on that shit.
That was
Wow.
yeah, that was the first assignment in Metals, I think. Or one of them. It was definitely one of the first assignments in Metals is to like
was my
recreate
first-
Fibonacci sequence.
Wow.
Yeah, that was my first experience with that, and yeah, the way he would talk about it, like
He was just like, this is perfection. This is like
Yeah.
what
he was
yeah.
like Max.
Oh
I was
my gosh.
yeah, it was weird. I had him
Holy
too.
shit.
It was weird.
Wow.
Weird.
Shout out to Mr. LaPapalo. I think he got fired. He drank a lot.
I think
Let's invite him on the
No.
show.
You know what's hilarious? He got rehired and he taught
Computer science.
computer graphics.
I
And
took
took
that
his
class.
Computer graphics class. He
Yeah.
was so crazy, dude. He was a crazy ass teacher. But
I saw him downtown one time, like after we had left.
oh
Alone.
no,
while.
how was he
Yeah,
doing?
he was just like he had like a fanny pack and he was like chilling, smoking a cigarette outside on Central, and I was just like, "Yo, what's up?" And we talked a
Drifter.
bit, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm at this art show down the street, and it was like in some crazy like side hole door thing, like
Oh my
it's not a
God.
place that you would go into, you know." And I was like, "Dang, okay, you're doing like this like gypsy shit, I guess." Like, I don't know. I don't know why. It's not unlike him, right? Like he
Right.
was kind
Well,
of
and like, mind you, this was I had him I think freshman year and then maybe junior year when he got rehired. But it was like it was still at the time like we're in high school. It's hard to disassociate teachers with having lives, right? And so
Yeah.
seeing this person who was kind of a crazy artsy Max type of guy teaching you, you're just like, what the fuck? It's so surreal.
weird. It has its own level of surrealness for
Yeah.
sure.
That's hilarious. Holy shit.
Oh man.
Okay, so here's if we just want to touch on this. There's some crazy shit
Hit
with
me.
with all these numbers. Okay,
Blow me.
Can I say?
I mean-
go ahead, Adrian. Hey, if you
Sorry,
want to
that
jump into
can't-
the VR chat later, we can-
Oh
Oh,
shit.
God.
Okay.
The one that I saw that was really cool was the number 216 is 6 times 6 times 6. So
Mhm.
666 equals
Hell yeah.
216. And
That's
it's supposed to be the name of God, which is just like,
wild.
hold up.
Sick.
Hold up.
So okay, and I don't know. I don't know how they're getting these numbers. Take it for what it is.
Math, brother.
Is. All right, so if you add up the numbers, if you add up the letters from the names of people in the movie, you get some interesting things.
Oh.
Max's name, his full name is Maximilian Cohen, and his computer's name is
Euclid.
Euclid. Okay,
Yeah.
Euclid.
So you add those letters together, and you get 216,
That's amazing. I
You-
love shit like this, dude.
which is Max's desired outcome, right?
Yeah.
Then if you add Hamlet, Archimedes, and Icarus, the things that Soul tries to tell him about,
Mm-hmm.
they come out to 215.
Mm.
So
He wasn't quite there
those
yet.
are like they're
Oh.
a distraction. They're something that's not 216 that
Oh.
Soul does after he kind of stops researching, right? He starts reading stuff and whatever, getting into other shit. Then okay, here's an interesting one. So since Max decides to not go down that hole of Hamlet and Archimedes and shit, he hits a breaking point, right, where he drills his head, which we haven't even really talked about.
Oh god, that's so fucked.
If you take Maximilian Cohen again and you add drill, you get 217, which is
Oh.
one over, breaking the 216. He's gone too far, right? Super interesting stuff. Then there's another smaller one, not as cool, but still kind of cool, where how Lenny says that the Hebrew word for child makes 44.
Mm-hmm.
The name of the girl that asks Max to do all the calculations, Jenna, also equals 44.
Oh.
So I don't
That's-
know how I don't know if it's the number of the letter in the alphabet. Like, is that how they do it? I'm not
The
really sure.
Hebrew, yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
how
I
he
think it's
explained it.
something like that.
Each
That's
letter
amazing,
in the
dude.
Hebrew language equals
That's
a number.
cool.
Attention to detail, little
Yeah.
things like that. Super cool.
Even if it's not real, I'm accepting it.
Is
'cause
that
that's cool as
controversial?
fuck, dude.
So check out this one. So the last calculation that he has or that
Oh, yeah,
he
I heard
does
about
on the bench, he can't
oh,
do it.
yeah.
And the answer is 46,665. And so this person on Reddit decided to square the number, but the number is 46656. So those two numbers are switched, but 216 squared is 46656. So those last two digits are flipped, so it kind of makes you think, did he not find the right number at all?
Oh shit.
Huh. That is interesting. I thought where you were going with, so I saw this one bit was the movie ends with Jenna asking for the result of the division of 748 by 238. This simplifies to the fraction 22 divided by 7. The result is 3.1428, which is a good
Oh.
approximation of pi, often taught in primary schools.
Yeah, that's cool. And that's when he doesn't know, right? Where he's like, I don't know.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
because he drilled his fucking brains
And,
out.
I was wondering, okay, so you know how like different parts of the brain correlate to language, art, this and that.
Yeah.
I was wondering when he was I didn't do the research. When he was poking that part of the brain, it was
Oh.
the same part of the brain he
Oh.
literally drilled math out of his brain.
I could see that. I could see that.
He's
That'd
Wow.
be
like
sick.
lobotomy real quick. I don't know.
think that was
That
because
could
he
be-
had those diagrams, but it never showed what the parts were. It
Yeah,
just showed the parts, right?
It shows
it's
in the
totally
back,
could be.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then like what was it? Like I
That was
thought
his
he had
exit
like a,
strategy.
but I
yeah.
thought like he had like an implantation in his head.
The
like,
little scar or
I
whatever.
was so scared of
because
that.
it was like a
going into some
scar.
crazy
Like it was a
shit.
scar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like I didn't know what the fuck was gonna go on there.
Yeah. I don't know what that was. I thought it was gonna open
and
up
then-
and ants are gonna come out. I don't know. I was waiting
Oh,
for some
geez.
crazy, like crazy hallucinations, dude.
Taryn wanted some shit to
Wanted
go
some
down.
hereditary shit.
Wanted
to
crazier shit. No,
Oh god.
I don't know.
But
I
then-
just was it explained or no, or were you gonna go into that?
Was
What's
what
it?
explained?
The
the
scar?
scar thing.
The scar?
That's
No.
where he ends up drilling, right?
Well, yeah, but
Is it?
is it
Maybe
just
he had
like
already drilled his head before, and that's the
too many
scar.
numbers? It's just starting to
When-
bulge out.
No, when he was staring at the sun, it went through and it left that scar out. there.
Oh my god. It's on
That's
like
my
the side
theory.
of his head, isn't it?
Yeah, that's like
Yeah,
right.
it's like back here.
It's like
Yeah.
right here. He shaves it. Oh man,
I thought it was back more.
it's like right here.
No, it's like
he
pretty
shaves it right here
forward.
before he shaves his whole
Oh.
head.
I thought it was more back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that is
Um,
right.
And then what's cool when he doesn't know how to do the calculation for pi, it shows the trees again, and you assume
Yeah.
that he looks at the trees as just trees and not
Yeah.
And not numbers.
See the what is it the saying? You see the forest from the trees or some shit. Is that it?
yeah.
Hmm.
But it was also kind of like Sound of Metal ending where he takes the things off and just hears nothing and like accepts it. I don't know.
Yeah. No,
Similar-
he's sitting on a park bench kind of thing.
Yeah, it's
Chat is
almost
saying the scar is in the shape of a Hebrew letter.
What letter
Oh,
though?
no. We don't have
Q
time
X
for
Files
this
theme.
shit.
That's awesome.
Oh man. What else you guys got? We ready to rate this?
I don't know how, honestly.
I don't know
You
how
could delay a
either.
little bit.
3.14.
That was
Oh
Yeah.
shit!
I
Oh
have one
shit! They posted a picture of it. It looks like a Hebrew letter to me.
let's
Oh.
see it.
Look at that.
Which letter? What letter? This is I want to
I
know.
don't speak it. I don't speak a language. What number is that? What does the number mean?
I don't speak a
Oh
language.
yeah, how do you
Yeah.
it just looks like a Y backwards.
It's a Y.
It's supposed to
Anything else you want to
symbolize
talk about?
why.
Oh, so like when he gets like awakening and then he goes into the kingdom of God, he's just chilling.
He's just chilling.
I
Oh
don't
my
know. It's
god.
pretty cool.
He's just
It's pretty
vibing.
cool. He's just vibing.
Dude was literally
He's
just vibing.
I vibe too hard. time to drill my fucking face.
Dude, that effect was so good, right? Like I was never expecting any crazy effects, but it looked real to me. I don't know. Unless that his whole head was fake, maybe. I don't know.
that
'cause
was
it
their
went in,
entire
dude.
budget.
That's the whole budget.
Making
was
this
sick.
fake head
God.
just to drill. That was really cool, honestly. Like it was startling to say the least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only other thing I've got is that I thought was cool was when the computer like breaks for the first time with that number, and he like inspects it, and there's just like an ant on the thing. There's just like a literal bug. He's like,
Oh
Right.
yeah. When that bug keeps coming back.
and all the gamer goo. Don't forget
And-
that.
So I don't know if
Um,
it's too much. But I don't even. Do you guys have any ideas about the ants? What that means? What it symbolizes, or anything? Because I don't.
Well, ant is A-N-T, which if you add them together,
A plus N plus T is 216.
It's 216.
yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
The letter was Sade, which is the number 3. Wait.
Huh.
Which is how many letters are in the word ant. We figured it
3.15.
out.
He's got ants in his head, but don't call him an ant head.
All right, I got nothing else.
Yeah,
know.
ants is like, they work and they're like
Not
trying
as
to
good as
like,
bug fly.
you know what I mean? And they like crazy.
I swore I read an article that he saw like a 3-foot tall anthill in some country and was like, "Whoa!" and that sparked the idea for this movie.
It's like,
Basically,
whoa,
Yeah.
anthills can be big.
that's all
right.
crazy.
Let's rate this. Let's rate this bad boy. Let's go first. I feel like I went first pretty recently. Jay.
Now it's Jay, I guess.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I knew that this movie was weird, and that's about it, like all I knew. And to be honest, I don't even like really know how to rate this.
Yeah,
But,
Me
I
neither.
don't have
I don't think any of
idea.
us.
like I like a lot of aspects of this movie. I like the black and white, the overexposure stuff. I like the sound. I like a lot of the story. Like I like how they did so much with so little in terms of budget. I like how they dive into like real patterns that emerge from nature. I like that Jedi mind trick sampled this. Like there's a lot of things about this I like. I think that for me, like if I was someone who was watching a person's first film and this was the only thing that they had made at this point, I'd be like, dang, this is fucking weird. And like, you're probably not going anywhere because your shit's too weird. but I like it. You know, like that's what I would tell them. And
Yeah.
luckily that was not the case, and he was able to go on and make a lot more shit. I saw this movie described as a Lynchian thriller, so I think that means that I need to stop procrastinating and go watch more David Lynch shit because the only
More.
thing I've seen is the fucking monkey thing on Netflix.
Dude, yeah, so
As
Eraserhead,
like it.
man. Not similar, but similarly
It's
weird.
black and white and shit.
Yeah.
You're right, and there's a lot of So I just need to go explore that world. I think it's kind of
Yes.
where I'm
Mhm.
coming out of
Yes.
this movie.
Thank God.
But I liked it a lot. I liked a lot of things about it. Didn't really know anything going into it. The only thing that I knew, and we didn't really talk about this, but when I'm in like a meeting for work and I'm carrying my laptop like through my house, one of my coworkers would be like, "Oh, that's the pie camera angle. You're doing the pie camera." Like where, because I think there's shots where he literally has the camera attached to him, like his
Like
waist,
running through the
Oh,
where
subway
he's
and shit.
Yeah.
getting up and shit. Yeah, because it follows
Oh.
him like, perfectly, and his
Yeah, yeah.
background is
Oh,
kind of
that's cool.
nice. So that was cool. But yeah, I mean, you know, being resourceful and shit is cool. Building a whole crazy story out of these concepts and just kind of like turning the thriller-ish genre on its head, I think was really interesting for me.
Mhm.
So all of that being said, I think this is like a solid 8.0 for me.
Okay.
Maybe it could be higher, but like I'm kind of lost as to like I
Yeah.
don't really have anything to compare this to.
Eight,
So
eight
like
sounds good. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's an 8.
I'll
Alright,
go
Jay-
next.
Jay thinks it's an 8.
James,
See what James thinks.
go for it.
When this movie first started, like I was like, okay, this is sick. Like I was like,
That intro is
I-
amazing.
Man,
I was ready to like fall in love, and like it just kept hitting like all the right marks for me. Like just the way it looked, how gritty it was, how fucking nerve-wracking it was, and like I don't know, I'm big on conspiracy theories. I don't believe in any really.
They're
but
fun. They're fun.
I love
They're fun.
I love to watch fucking YouTube videos late at night and get all spooked out by crazy shit like that. And like it was going down that path, and then it like I don't know, like it just I don't know. Like I said earlier, call me a simpleton. I just wanted like some kind of finite resolution. Like it was just kind of it was just like, man, he fucking drilled his fucking brain out, and I was just like a little sad. I was a little sad.
Edge.
And then like what? Like I don't know, the Jews freaking crucify him, or like the freaking Wall Street bigwigs, like I don't know, throw him in jail forever because he fucking sacrificed himself. I don't know. I was just like waiting for something else to happen too. But like it just never went there. But camera angles were insane. They were so cool. Like all that stuff, except for when he's like running away. When it was just like, oh, I was like, okay. I was like, I was like, you're losing me. I was like, it's a little too much. But soundtrack, freaking cool.
Hell yeah.
I don't know if I really cared for Max's acting too much. I thought it was kind of like, yeah, I don't know. Some parts are a little cheesy for me. Just like,
Yeah.
he's just a nerd, dude. This guy's a nerd.
Fucking
But
dweeb.
yeah, a lot of stones left unturned for this movie that I was just kind of wanting to turn, and when you get into that realm of like, well, was any of this real? It kind of
Yeah.
cheapens things
Joking.
a little bit.
Magic.
7.8.
Okay.
Mhm.
7.8 coming out of James. I think I'm ready to go next. Darren, you mind going last?
I don't.
All right, cool. So yeah, I to kind of echo the sentiment of James, like I was there for the journey of trying to discover what this mystery was. You know, like I was right away, like, and when the movie first started, the soundtrack, like that opening song, the doo doo da tick, tick, da, it's just like it gets you going, and like the really overexposed type of shots and like just the grittiness of the black and white. I was like, this is cool. Like this is a cool
Yeah.
fucking movie. And we didn't talk about it, but the intro is fucking sick.
That was
Like,
the first note I had. Intro was fucking amazing. Yeah. It's fucking
yeah,
sick.
the intro, like I watched this. I watched this with Samantha. I was like, this is a fucking cool ass movie already. Like this is just fun. And I don't know. Sadly, I feel like it kind of after like the mystery starts to really unfold, and we start to just be like, okay, so it's like this religious thing where it's they're figuring out the name of God, and I don't know. I think once that was kind of explained, it was a little bit of a letdown, and it was just like, man, this could have been really cool. Like they could have gone a million different directions here, but I don't know. The one that they landed on, I was like, okay, it was okay, kind of thing. But that doesn't take away all of the great things about this movie, like the music, the cinematography. Like it was fun, it was thrilling, it was different, it was weird, and especially um, for the to be a debut film by this director, like that's impressive. Like I don't know, like Jay was kind of saying like I don't know if you're he was saying like I don't know if you're going anywhere. This shit's weird, but I like it. And I like I think if I saw that as somebody's first film, I'd be like, this is fucking cool. There's a market for this. Like
Mhm.
this is cool. You're gonna be making some cool shit. So yeah. I don't know. I mean, the story was maybe a little too disappointing, and maybe that's why it's driving my score a little bit lower. But all in all, it was fun. I'm glad I watched it. It's a 7.5 for me. 7.
This movie walked so Black Swan could run.
Yeah, dude. And real quick, why was it even called Pi? Didn't have anything to do with
Because that
He's
thing you
obsessed
said
with
at
that
the
number,
end.
right?
actual circle. But like, I don't know. That didn't mean. I don't know.
Because pi is the closest, like, real thing to infinity that we have, right? Or something weird like that.
Well, no, the number to pi goes on to infinity,
Yeah.
or not goes on to it. Just you can't find an end to pi, but
Or a pattern, apparently.
or a pattern apparently. All right, so Darren, take it away.
Wait, can I ask a question?
No.
Yes.
That's just
Yeah.
like a sentence. What did oh shit. What did your girlfriend think of this?
Oh,
She just like a quick little like word
yeah.
or two.
She feels the same about like the same way as I do. Is like, it was fun, it was cool, but the story was just weird, and it concluded poorly. I think we were both like, it was a fun watch, but
Okay.
the story could have been better.
Do you think that it ruins the rewatchability of this movie? Or do you think this is a movie you could rewatch and
don't
go
think
on a
there's-
different
yeah, I don't-
tangent and try to pick a number thing kind
I
of
feel
stuff?
like the big thing of this movie is like the art form and like the style of it. And like once you know the story, like you know the art, you know the style, you know how it goes. So the story isn't gonna bring you back, for me.
Yeah, it's
not
like
gonna
you're
lie.
looking for details maybe the second
Yeah.
time. I don't know.
But
It's a quick
Yeah.
it's a quick time. Maybe you can watch it. I don't know.
yeah, it's not long.
Take
Runtime.
take it away.
Okay. I don't know, man. When Nader and everyone was saying that this is a weird ass movie, I feel like my mind just went way too fucking ham, and I was like expecting the weirdest shit,
Real
and I
weird.
didn't get it. I got parts of it, but I wanted more just because the expectation was a little too high, maybe in the weirdness. I don't know if that
Yeah.
even makes sense or matters, but like all the random shit I was saying I thought would happen, like I don't know. I don't
Hands
know.
out of the
man.
head and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
waiting for some wild shit. I was honestly, like I said, expecting the impossible. Because, like, there's no way that this dude is making a movie to, like, tell the world about the answer to God's name or something. But I was wanting the answer, you know what I mean? It felt like we were discovering it. Like, they did such a good job of setting up all these mysteries. It's like, I'm going to learn the answer to this at the end of this movie, and no one else fucking knows it. Like, that's what it feels like. It's like such a secret thing that it felt like we were gonna get more answers for, but I don't know. Like halfway or like watching it, I was like, "There's no way like this is real." Like blah blah blah. It's a movie, but I was fucking all in. I was ready for it. So I had a good fucking time with this movie, dude. Like it was so intense. It was so fast paced. The music, like you guys were saying, was fucking awesome. The acting I liked a lot, dude. Like I don't know, what's his name? The main character was
Max.
the perfect amount of weird, where it wasn't that unnatural. The only weird thing was that everyone treated him like everyone was just so like willing to like humor him, I guess. But like in the end, it was all like people trying to take advantage of him, obviously. But like,
Except for that neighbor, man. She was just trying to smash,
right,
which
right,
Yeah.
maybe take advantage of him in a different way.
yeah,
1 + 1 = 2.
wow.
Divide the legs.
Yeah.
And I forgot about that part of it where he would be in his room or his apartment like focusing so hard, and then he would just start hearing I guess his neighbors have sex.
Yeah, like, yeah.
I was like, what is this symbolizing? Like, is he just lonely as fuck? He's just like zooming into the wall. It was so weird. I liked it. I don't know.
It wasn't she screaming his name?
At one
Was
point she was, but I don't felt like a
Oh, then I think
hallucination
so.
for sure.
I think that's.
Because I watch movies with subtitles.
I watched
so
this
think
movie
it
with
I do
was-
subtitles.
too. I do too. I didn't see the subtitle for that though.
Yeah. Really weird stuff. I like when I don't know. I like when it's like you can't tell what's real or not, but they don't just say nothing was real at the end, like you were saying, James. I
Yeah.
feel like it had a good
Yeah.
balance of that, where it was like you can't really tell, but like you can tell enough to like get the story. Like all the subway stuff, I wish was crazier. I guess like the stuff where it's like, oh, is that him? Like who is this old guy? Like all this stuff was so interesting, and then it was just kind of nothing. But I don't know. For a first movie, this is fucking crazy, man. Like
Oh yeah.
honestly so impressive. Like every choice was honestly really cool. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. You guys said a lot of good stuff. I love movies about obsession apparently. I don't know. But yeah, so time 11:19. Result 8.5.
Ah.
8.5. Dude, and those scenes were
Enter.
really cool. How he ends, like how he just
Yeah, his narration was cool and not that
narrates
cheesy.
all that shit.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
again, just to shout out again the intro, like, you know, when I was a little boy, like my mother told me that's so cool.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
cool monologue.
Yeah.
Really fucking good. All right, so that brings us to a collective score of 7.95. So almost in the eights. I mean, you know, we could round up here. It's a movie about math. We'll do a little rounding. We could have about an 8.
Divided by 216.
We're not playing this game. Do it in the comments. Find all our socials at filmfumblers.com. Next week we will be reviewing The Outsiders, 1983. So we're all kind of maybe sure we've seen that. I don't know. We'll find out. So it should be a fun one. So yeah, tune in for that. That is going to be on March 20th. Yeah, but stick around for the after show if you're watching us live. Other than that, we'll see you guys next time. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.